Hi, good morning. I'm Matt Call with Great Basin Team 3. It's August 3rd. We're going to give you the update today for the Tartar fire. I'm going to show you the zoomed out map first, and then we'll zoom in a little bit and kind of show you some details and give you an update on what we're doing today. Acreage is in excess of 90,000 acres at this point. For orientation, Weezer's right here on the bottom of your map, and we'll kind of show you some of the details and where we have actions happening. So to kind of, as a recap, when our team first got here, we were doing action along all of this north side, kind of in anticipation of this wind event. We got this all secured, and that's still secured, which is great news. A few days ago, we had a small new reported fire here reported by Air Attack, which went from 0 to 25 acres in just a couple of minutes. We spent a night chasing that down by the river, and then, as a lot of you know, it made basically what it amounted to about a 25-mile run in about a day. So that's what we've got on the landscape right now. Luckily, we had a lot of local reinforcement and help as it came down into Weezer, and we were able to make a lot of good stops, a lot of good heroic efforts that happened down here in Weezer as it came right basically up to the edge of town there. So this is where we're going to focus our attention today on kind of what we're doing here. The fire, we were able to make kind of a good stop on the front of it here, and right now we have a lot of good fire edge, a lot of cold black, as we like to call it, along the edge on this bottom. And while it doesn't look big on here, just for some scale, I'm going to zoom in here, and that's a mile right there. So you can understand, when I say we have a lot of fire on the landscape, that's probably 60 or 70 miles of perimeter that we have. It's the new perimeter, and that's a lot of country to cover. So we're starting here where we have a good cold edge, and where we have a lot of towns and houses, farmland, things like that, and we're starting to work up northward on both sides of the fire. And that's what we've been doing for the last couple of days, as Mike was talking about yesterday. And this is all pretty good and cold, and we're following that black edge up, and where we can interact with the fire and go direct, we're doing that with dozer lines and with hand crews. And what I mean by direct is we're right on the edge of the fire, and if you've seen any of the footage of this fire, we have a kind of a limitation on what we can do, and any flame lengths over about 8 feet, we're pretty limited on what we can do with hand crews and engines. If we have a dozer in there, we can go 12 feet is about the max of what we can do. So we have limitations when that fire gets pretty extreme, and we have to back off a little bit when those winds kick up and it really pushes. So sometimes we'll put the lines off a little bit and make some indirect lines in the hopes we can kind of stop it there with some hose lines and other what we call indirect tactics. So that's what kind of all of these different dozer lines are in places, with the intent to kind of build what we call a catcher's mitt along here. What we anticipate based on the weather now and that has happened is we'll get all of this edge right here is still fairly active, and all it takes is one little ember to keep growing, and it gets established into its own little sort of head fire, and then when those afternoon winds come, it comes and pushes this way. And that's what our fire behavior analyst and our incident meteorologists have all kind of cautioned us for. So we're kind of limited on how much we can interact with it direct, and we're doing that when we can and when the weather allows, and that's kind of the first part of the day. And it's kind of weird because the fire behavior in the middle of the night here on this fire in the last few days has been more extreme than it is during the day, which is opposite of how it is most of the time. So we spend the morning doing what we can. We put dozers on it, we put hand crews on it, we put engines on it, and then we put all the airplanes in the sky that we can order and that are available and that can fit in that airspace. And we hit those hot spots, we get a direct edge, and then we go as far as we can until that fire behavior increases, and then we have to back off. And so that's what's happened on both these sides, both yesterday and what's happening today. We'll find those places to engage it, which we were doing here. And as that flare-up occurred, we engaged this with some dozers and some hand crews. And this piece here basically outran us. It got to a point where none of our tactics could keep up with it, so we had to back out of the way, back down to the head of it, and make a stand here to protect some of the properties down there, which we were successful with. It got down to some more farmland and some areas where we could actually make a stand. Right now, this fire is starting to flank this way a little bit to the east. So I know a lot of these details can be confusing, and I know that they're really frustrating. And so I'm going to end it with this. We're getting all the resources that we can and everything that's available. We're making our tactical decisions based on our prioritization statutes, basically, which first is life. So life, your life, our life, that's nothing secondary to that. And then we try to stabilize the incident, and then we try to protect property. And those three things are our priorities, but life being the utmost. And so sometimes, if the fire is too dangerous, then we have to make sure that our firefighters can live to fight another day, and that we can protect you also, the citizens that are out there, and the property and assets and things like that come after that. And so that's how we're engaging it. And sometimes we lose some acres, and sometimes we have to back off. And this fire is has been putting us in a defensive position. With the weather changing a little bit and not having those huge wind events as we had the last 2 days, what we're feeling is that now we're starting to pivot into a more offensive position where we can actually get direct line. We've got, like I said, kind of this whole heel, a really good secure handle on it. There's still a lot of fire out there, but we have a really good starting point right here on both sides. So what's going to happen the next few days is our organization isn't going to get smaller. We're going to order the other resources that are available and that we need, and we're going to continue operations until we put this thing out. Over the next couple of days, you're going to see a few different faces. The team that I'm on, we transition to a different team that basically looks different, but they have the same functions. They might sound different, they might have a different look, but their goals are going to be the same, their mission is the same, and that mission is to put this fire out. So while you might see a little bit of movement, a little bit of different schedules and things, the overall goal is to put this thing out and put black all the way around the map, and we just want to make sure that you know that. So we'll have another update for you tomorrow. Sorry it took us so long today. It's been a pretty busy day and night. We're fighting this fire 24 hours a day, and we're going to continue to do so until it's out. Thanks for joining us.